brought you the Magic Clean disinfectant that we started the show with. This is our LivePure HEPA air purifier. You'll know if you watch Open House, I have featured, I would say in the past 10 weeks, 6 of those weeks have featured an air purifier, and it is simply customer demand. You want them. I certainly love presenting them. I have an air purifiers at home, and I could talk about them till I'm blue in the face, as the team here know. For me, it's important. We're talking about face coverings, right? When we're out and about, what are we doing to filter the air inside our home? Now, I've not told you something yet about this that I think will be exciting, and I think will really help you make a good decision. First point is that it's large room. If you have an open plan space, this is up to 2,000 square feet. So instead of having to buy several smaller units, this one big unit is gonna cover that whole space for you. The big news about it, in the past 10 weeks when I've presented all the air purifiers, I've talked a lot about true HEPA because it is the single most important feature. Whenever you buy an air purifier, even if it's not this, please insist on it being true HEPA. For the very first time, I'm able to say the following thing. This air purifier has a forever HEPA filter. That means this one, and it's the only one that I have seen, does not need replacing. Now that opens up a lot of doors to a lot of folks, because there's a lot of us, we see the benefits of an air purifier, but we don't want to necessarily have to spend a lot of money on replacement filters. With this one from LivePure, you never spend another dollar. So I want to say that right out of the gate. It's one of the only ones I know. For tonight's show, they've taken $80 off. Similar technology can cost $400 and $500. They're including free shipping and handling as well. That's more savings. I have black available. It's called Midnight Black. I have graphite, and I have the pearl white, which as you see is covered in the smoke. I'm gonna do this real fast for you to show you, because to clean the air, you've gotta move the air. And with this type of power, in just seconds, it's taking all of what's in the air and it's cleaning it. Normally when we talk about air purifiers, we talk about allergens and pollen and dust and dander and odors and smells. That's the reason why I bought my air purifier all those years ago. I struggled with the itchy eyes and the sniffles with hay fever. An air purifier is not a cure, but if you're cleaning the air, that's gotta be a good thing. Obviously in this day and age, things have taken a slightly different turn, and we think about air purifiers for the other benefits that they can bring us. Our special guest and home expert, the lovely Vonabelle Sherman, returns. Vonabelle, this is an exciting unit because it is the first that we've presented on Open House that has a forever HEPA filter. I am right in saying that, aren't I, Vonabelle?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
It's permanent HEPA filtration. And that is a big wow, because we're giving you such a great price. Everything about it is getting our homes clean, just like with the Magic Clean we just did. We want to get your air clean as well, so that your whole home environment feels great. And you want to do it while saving money. So when you get a true HEPA filter like this, first of all, a replacement in this size with this power with 2 layers of filtration would cost perhaps between $60 and $100, but this is permanent, so there's no money pit. When you get it home, this will function for you for about 12 years, because they say that's the life of the unit. Not because the unit will be done by then, but because in 12 years there'll be new technology and you'll want something new anyway. So take a look. 2 levels of filtration. Your first is cocoa carbon. Cocoa carbon is the best of the best as far as pre-filters. Pre-filters capture